Hey guys, Terrence here. Today I'm going to show you guys how to fix a transmission issue my truck is dealing with. And I think it's important for any Dodge and some Chrysler owners to service their transmission with the exact kit that I'm about to install in my truck. This problem has occurred in many other Dodge and Chrysler vehicles. I think the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the Jeep Wrangler, the Jeep Liberty, Chrysler Aspen, the Dodge Dakota, I think the Durango. But if your transmission is the part number that I'll list in the description box, if it's one of these models, I think it's like 3 models. If it's one of these models, then you're probably at risk of dealing with this issue like I am. Sorry, it's windy out here, guys. Very windy out here today, and chilly. But yeah, if your transmission is one of these model numbers, then you may be at risk of dealing with the same issue. It happens abruptly. I was driving and accelerating maybe about 30 or 40 miles an hour, and there was a loud thump, or loud jerk, as if the transmission was shifting really hard into another gear, but it jumped into 4th gear. And no matter what I did, it remained in 4th gear. It was only allowing me to go in park, reverse, and neutral in 4th gear, not none of the other gears. So I got back and I read the code, and I'll show you guys what the code was. And it showed that it was a transmission shift solenoid issue, shift solenoid D, if I'm not mistaken. I'll show you guys as well. But it was showing that the transmission shift solenoid was acting up. So I made it home. The truck, it pulled off sluggish, but when it got to 30, 40 miles an hour, it drove well up until about 50 miles an hour. It wouldn't shift into that 5th gear, 55 miles an hour. It wouldn't shift past that gear. But, I got it home, and I turned it off, let the truck sit for a couple hours, came out, started up, and it ran perfect. It drove perfect, and just thought maybe it was just an issue that just happened out of nowhere and that it fixed itself. But it drove well for another 2 weeks, and then it happened again. And I got the same loud thump or jerk in the shift, and I think it lasted for. I turned the truck off, and I turned it back on, and it went back into. It started performing perfectly after that. It started functioning well, just after I turned the car off and turned it back on. And then about a week ago, it did it constantly. It did every time I stopped and turned the car on, it was doing it, and I knew it was time for me to deal with it. Now it's driving fine. Now it's been okay for the last week, but I pretty much let it set, and it's throwing a trouble code once again as well. But I let it sit just until the parts came, and I'll show you guys all the parts I ordered, and the transmission fluid I'll be using, some additives I'll add an additive, and show you how to install everything. The first thing we're going to do is remove the negative part of this battery. So when I get that done, I'll show you guys. It's a 10mm bolt to remove the negative side of that battery. So let's get that removed. Now I'll jack one side of the truck up so I can manipulate that fluid when I lower the front part of that pan or the back part. The pipe's in the way on this truck, and I'll show you guys everything in a minute. But the pipe is right there, so I'll cover it as well. I don't want no fluid getting on it because it'll smoke. It'll have to take forever to burn off. I don't want that to happen. So I'll cover that pipe anyway. But I'll jack the truck up on one side to try to manipulate that fluid as I tilt that pan down on one side. I release the screws on one side to try to get that pan tilt down, so to remove most of that fluid, so I can just pull the pan down. But I'll show you guys in a second. Let's get this negative battery cable removed, and let's get started. Okay, my truck stuck in 4th gear, shift solenoid D, malfunction. Wow. Okay guys, I'm back. Truck jacked up. I jacked the side up. Like I said, I want to manipulate that fluid to kind of tilt over to one side, so when I pull the pan down, I'll try to lean the pan to get the fluid to flow in one direction, but I have that just in case. It's super windy out here today. But these are the tools you guys are going to need. Flathead screwdriver, a Torx T25, 10 millimeter wrench for the battery, or you can use some pliers. I'm going to use my impact, but if you got a ratchet set, you can use a 3/8 drive or 1/4 drive, and some extensions. 8 millimeter socket you're going to need, and I'm using just a tiny bit of glue on underneath the I'm gonna rub a tiny bit of glue on the pan itself, just for the gas to stick on it, so it won't keep moving out of the way when I push it up, or it won't slide out of place. So I'll use just a thin, very thin layer of this glue to hold the gasket in place. That's it. And use a torque wrench, inch pounds, not foot pounds, but this does foot pounds and inch pounds. So I'll use this torque wrench and some rubber gloves, man. I recommend getting some rubber gloves for messing with this fluid, especially this transmission fluid. It gets pretty messy under there, and you don't want those chemicals all over your hand, even though. Okay, guys, I got the bag wrapped around the pipe. All the way across. I just tied it on both ends. Okay, guys, the first thing we're gonna do, the very first thing when we under the car, let's see, get that out of the way. Remove that plug. So let me get the phone out of it. You guys can see it. Although it's not much room up in here, it's enough to work with comfortably. So you're gonna pull down on this plug right here. I have the Dodge software that shows everything about this truck and many more applications. I mean, it shows you in detail everything. Okay, that's down. Any problem, it shows everything. Rotate this up. Let's rotate this out. Okay, guys, I'm gonna prop my phone up in 1 second. I want to make sure you guys see this. That red clip has to be all the way down. I pulled it partially down the first time. It has to be all the way down. Okay, we got it down. Just make sure once that red clip come down all the way down, it wouldn't be as hard like I just struggle with it. You guys should be able to pull this down fairly easy. And get this lifted up off here. It's almost off, got I'm prying around the housing. I don't want to break nothing. It's almost off. Okay, guys, about to get the screws out. Bear with me. Okay, I'm gonna take the front out first. So I got them about halfway out. All three back ones. Like I said, I don't want the pan to fall down. It's too much fluid and it'll make a mess. Okay. Left the three back ones halfway in. They're halfway sticking out to keep that pan from falling down on me and splashing fluid everywhere. So pull it on the screwdriver. The fluid's pouring out as I pull on it. So much for. Okay, I'm back, guys. In spite of my attempt to keep things clean and not messy, it was an epic failure. The pan's still up. Okay, guys, let's remove the valve body. It has 6 bolts in it. The wind is just killing me today. You want to be careful with this too, because this thing has some weight to it and it'll drop down. So make some room for it, just in case it falls on the cardboard. I still got my rubber gloves on, and there's 6 some rubber gloves for some grip. But there's one bolt back here. It's an 8mm. Let me get it really quick. I'll keep these bolts separate from the transmission bolts because they're also 8mm bolts. They're longer, so you won't get them confused. These are actually longer bolts. I got that one. Let's get this side first. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, here goes another one. There goes another one. I have to brace, guys, for this thing dropping. There goes another one. And the final one. Okay. Oh, I missed one. Sorry. I missed one right here. There we go. Oh, man. Okay. letting the fluid drain. There's some suction going on here. Wow. The plug had it, guys. This thing has some weight. Okay, guys. I have to put everything on hold. You put everything away. I gotta put everything on hold because just checking the box. Trust the seller. Bought things from quite a few times and trusted that he'll have everything in the box for me, but it's missing the detent plate. This is the throttle body, and just to partially fix this, I'll put some parts in. I'm gonna try to change everything I can. Hey guys, Terrence here. My truck has been sitting there for about a week. The detent plate never came. The guy never sent it. I don't think he had it in stock. That's why he didn't send it the first time. But it's okay. After doing thorough research, those parts are recommended to be replaced when you're updating from an older model to a newer model shift solenoid, a solenoid pack. The solenoid pack with the gray plug on it, they will recommend you change the TRS cam plate or the detent plate, opposed to my transmission that has the white plug solenoid shift pack or solenoid block. It has the white plug installed in it, which most newer cars does. You don't have to change that detent plate. It's just everything. I wanted to put everything new back inside the transmission because it is a big job and you're taking out so much, and it's a vital part to any vehicle. You want to prolong the life of that transmission as long as you can. So why not install everything new? Because it's not like a standard oil change unless you had the plug on there when you can kind of change it frequently. And they do sell transmission pans that comes with the plug, but I don't have one, so I'll just add as many new components as possible to prolong the life of my transmission. So right now I'm going to show you guys me removing and installing the newer solenoid pack or solenoid block, and I want to show you guys the difference between the Chrysler, the OEM solenoid pack compared to an aftermarket solenoid pack. They look identical, but I'm quite sure maybe the internal parts, or like the Chrysler solenoid pack came in 2 plastic bags, and I'll show you guys in a second, and it was filled with fluid. I thought something was wrong. I thought it was a used part, but that's how it comes, opposed to the other one had minimal fluid in it, and it looked more new. It came with the cover underneath it, and I'll show you guys in a second. So let's get started. It's cold out. It's very cold out. So I do apologize if you hear the wind, because it's windy also as well today. We're gonna get that. Let's get this job finished. So let's get started. Okay, guys. First thing you want to do is you want to kind of mark these bolts. You don't want to just keep going back and forth to the manual you're looking at, or if you're looking at something online or have software like I do, you want to mark these bolts opposed to going back and forward looking to see where the placement, or even taking the new one and setting it side by side and aligning those bolts up, because there's so many bolts on here it can become tricky. You wind up taking out bolts that you didn't have to. So what I did was get me a marker and just dabbed each bolt that had to come out, so I can just go right at them and take them right out. There's 15 of them, and this is the easier way. This is the more simple way. This marker's not going to hurt anything. Just a dab on each one of the bolts, as you can see, or dab just the sides of them, so I can remove them. And I'll try to one-hand this so you guys can see how fast, how much more quicker this will be. Of course, I won't use this when I'm torquing them down. I'll probably use it just to get them started. Don't want to mix these bolts up neither with the ones that came out of the valve body, because they are pretty much similar length. See, you guys see how much quicker this is opposed to just going back and forth, just putting a little dab, a marker, dab. There we go. I got this valve body sitting on some styrofoam just to protect it. You want to be safe as possible with this valve body. You don't want to damage it at all. That's it, guys. It's all 15 of them. As you can see, they got a pattern. They don't go, they run. There's a pattern here. But you can take off bolts that don't need to be removed if you're not really paying attention, because it does get confusing. There's an illusion here because there are so many bolts and they're similar, so it'll play with our mind and we'll get sidetracked. So just mark those bolts, and this thing should just drop right off. Let's see. Yeah, like that. So we're gonna kind of get this wiped down a little bit and then get the new one installed. Let me prop my camera up so you guys can see the difference between the Chrysler. See how it comes? I put it in this bag. This is just a regular shopping bag, but it came in 2 of these bags, and they're filled with fluid. And the aftermarket, which, as you see, well, I can show you guys right now, but we'll just look at numbers as well. But as you can see, it's pretty much the same thing. It just has the block on it. There's a tiny bit of fluid in this bag, but not like the OEM part. So, let's get the new one installed, guys. It's pretty cold out here, so my hands are frozen in these gloves. I think it's about 22 degrees outside today. Oh, this is Chicago weather for you. All right, let's get this installed, guys. Let me pop my camera up. Be back in a second. Okay, guys, we're gonna wipe this clean. There is some, look at this. There is some residue from the gasket. Yeah, you wanna wipe this side clean, because Here it is. You don't want nothing obstructing the new pack when it goes in place. Letting everything seat firmly. There is some oil in here. And it's kind of dirty. I don't know if I should turn it over and let it drain out. I may just do that, guys. There's some oil in these holes. As you can see right there, I'm gonna drain that. I don't like that. It's fairly clean, but it ain't clean like the new stuff that's going here. So I'm gonna flip this upside in the old. Okay, guys, I'm back. That was quite a bit of fluid inside of these holes. As you can see, got a lot of them empty, but a lot of them is filling back up. Just at the bottom part, so I'm happy. I let it sit up for like 30 minutes. So I'm satisfied with what I got out. And I'll just wipe it clean and let's get the other part installed. You want to be careful whatever you sit it on. You don't want to damage none of these. Or damage this valve body at all. This is a very delicate piece and it's vital to the transmission, so you want to make sure you be careful with it and do your very best to make sure it's sitting on something that won't damage it, like I'm using this styrofoam. Okay, I'm wiping it clean. Looks fairly good. Like I said, I would have replaced the dentant plate. I will wipe it clean though, because it also has, I don't know if these are fine shards of metal from the transmission gears, and of course after it's grind so much it becomes a fine powder like residue, and it sticks with the transmission fluid, so that's probably the case. Okay, that looks really good. Let's get the new part installed. Like I say, this is the Chrysler. The OEM box. Move this out the way. OEM box. Well, it actually came with 3 plastic Ziplocs. Nothing really got in the plug. I don't think it would damage it. So here's the new part. There's some dowel rods or dowel pins or guide posts that'll help you put this part in the right place. You don't have to worry about not mounting correctly because of these guide posts. Here goes another plastic one. So you wanna got it in place like so. Everything lined up perfectly. Looks good. Let's get some bolts started. I'll hold it firmly just to get a couple of them started. Now if you want to get, I used to do this. I used to put all the bolts that come out of their original places, I'll put them back in the same places. But these are 15 bolts. Doesn't matter, they're the same fasteners or screws. I keep saying bolts or screws, torque screws, but they're fasteners nonetheless. And I used to put each fastener back in there. Hey guys, I'm back. These are required for 50 inch pound, not foot pound. These are inch pound. They're 50 inch pound or 50 pound inch of torque force applied to these bolts. So before I torque them down with my inch pound torque wrench, I want to show you guys, just in case you don't have a inch pound torque wrench and you have a foot pound torque wrench or one of these older ones that measure foot pound, you can convert the numbers opposed to going out and renting a tool or buying one. You know, you want to save that money. So what you can do to convert it is, these are based off, the foot pound and inch pound are based off the standard rule of measurement. You know, 12 inches equal 1 foot. 12, just say, if we wanted to convert these numbers, you want to divide as far as inch foot pounds. If you want to convert them from foot pounds to inch pounds, you want to multiply. So just say these are 50 inch pound torque down specs on these bolts, on these fasteners. Well, you would divide 50 divided by 12 would give you about 4.16. That's 4.15 or 4.16. So let's get the calculator and see. So if I want to convert these from foot pound to inch pound, because I only have a foot pound torque wrench, I want to go 50 divided by 12, 4.16. You can round that 6 off to 4.17 if that wasn't, this calculator wasn't long enough, but just a tad bit over 4 pounds for a foot pound on your torque wrench. So like with this one, the lowest it measures is, these are in 5 increments on the foot pound, so 5 foot pound increments. So, you know, I can use this, but it wouldn't be precise. So I can use this is a 3/8 inch. I can get the tad bit over 4 with this torque wrench. So just wanted to share that tip with you guys, just in case you didn't want to go out and spend the money to rent a tool, just in case you didn't have the inch foot pound torque wrench. You can convert those numbers in. There's many videos online about that. Let's get these torqued down. I'll either fast forward this part or stop it because I'm running out of space on my phone. So let's get these torqued down in spec, and I'm froze. Okay guys, here go all 3 parts. Just these the old one. As you can see, the part number, there's some numbers down there. This is the original part that came in installed in this transmission. Here goes the new one. As you can see, it's the exact same part that came off the truck. Part number, and those numbers down there are the same as well. Now here's the aftermarket part. It does not have those numbers. So there's some numbers down there. Well, KD5380C. Yeah, the numbers are different on the aftermarket part all the time. But the white plug is this one is more, I don't know, it has a more clear white plastic opposed to this being a solid plastic, as you can see. But I'm quite sure both of them do the same thing. Recommendation: spend the extra money to get the OEM part. But if you don't have it, this will work as well. So just thought I'd share it with you guys. This is how it comes. Inside of the box, but this is the old one. This is the new one. As you can see, I cleaned off the valve body, and I'm ready to install. But we're about to clean the transmission pan first. I want to show you guys how it looked before I cleaned it. So let's do that right now, real quick. Remember, I still have it. As you can see, I just put a couple screws in it. I didn't want it just sitting off the truck like that, so I removed that plastic. I don't think I need that anymore. Put me some carburetor on there still, and as you can see, I put it on. I want the transmission exposed while I got the truck set up. So I'll screw those 3 screws out and show you guys what I'll be cleaning it with. Okay, guys. Okay, guys. Here goes the transmission pan. A lot dirtier than I thought. It's okay though. Like the transmission was shifting smooth. No issues besides the jumping into 4th gear. But we'll be using this. This stuff was on sale. This is a large can, the tall can, the 1 pound 3 ounces can. The off-brand typically comes in 14 ounces, but these were on sale 2 for $8. So I had to jump on that opportunity. CRC is a great brand. It's one of the leading brands in automotive. Lubricants and additives and cleaners and so forth. So we'll be using this today. I'm gonna shake it a little bit and get this thing clean. Yeah, we're gonna remove that. There's no gasket on here. It's using actually just some silicone, as it said in the software I have for this truck. For these applications, it uses some RTV gasket glue, because they actually recommend you put it on each screw when you tighten the pan down. So we'll put a light coat since we're using the gasket. If I can ever get this. So it's cold, guys. It's cold today. Let me reposition. Okay. Let's get going. Let's see what we got. Get back. I got 2 cans just in case. Let it. I also spray the silicone because it'll break down fairly quick when I scrape it off. As it's sitting, it is. Wow, this can is almost gone. Okay, guys, I wiped the pan out. Apparently, it is black. I just peeled as much as I can of the silicone off. It was kind of easy. It just ran around when I peeled it. When I grabbed one end of it, I peeled it around, cleaned the magnet off. I just wiped it off again to show you guys. And I'm using these wire brush. Of course, I could attach that to the drill, but I'll use these wire brush to just clean the around where the gasket fits. So we can put a light, some light silicone just to hold the gasket in place, especially because it's so windy out here. And get this prepped for installation. I'm gonna wipe this out really good. I'll wipe it again when yeah, it's black. Fooled me thinking it was nasty. Sorry, guys. Took the magnet out, gave it a good wipe off. Wasn't nothing really on it. There's 2 holes underneath it. Make sure you guys can see it. And this side is flat. The 2 holes was facing down, so I'll face it back. It was sitting right here, so I'll sit it back where it was. And let's also get this ready, because we'll do this next. We'll put this up real quick. You can actually tighten this by hand or use one of these to get a snug firm grip on it, or this, and which I like using. I love these to hit these grooves, but you got to be careful with this because you can puncture the filter. So let's get all the plastic off of it. There's no spec for this filter. Like I said, I have the software for all these models. There's almost 4,000 pages embedded embedded within the software, and it tells me every single thing I need to know about my truck and other applications. So I have to go looking online and playing the guessing game. And or the children manual books are great. Okay guys, it's clean, just dust everywhere. Yeah, this thing is like brand new. Keep my truck up, man. So I was shocked when I seen that black in there. I was like, the fluid can't be that nasty. My truck transmission shit's incredible. Get all this gasket debris out of here. You want to have a clean transmission. As you guys can see, I made a mess. I want to say, when I took the pan down, I wasn't expecting there to be no fluid in it, and it was filled with fluid. I made a mess. Some of the cardboard caught it, but I made a mess. I had to throw down some soil, and I didn't have any more of the grease pickup, so I had quite a few bags of old mulch laying around, so I used none of it. Okay, I want to show you guys something. Yeah, it was about 2 quarts. So I don't know. It says it takes 6.5 quarts. It was 2 quarts or more in that pan, and it fell down when I expected it to be nothing because I let it drain out. So be careful if you do what I did. If you didn't do what I did, you don't have to worry about it. You know, I didn't have the part, so I had to wait, and I still didn't get it, but it's another story too. Be careful. That pan, man, there was at least 2 to 3 quarts inside the pan, and it fell down on me and splashed all over me once again, and I wasn't expecting. Luckily, I didn't move this plastic because it would have been all over the pipe too, but as you can see, it messed the cardboard up, and it's all over the place. It's leaking all through the cardboard. And so let's get this filter on. You see the bottom filter, it came with a new fitting that fits up in here, the seal, and I don't know if I should replace it or pull this one out. I got a small flathead screwdriver. I'll put it out, but the new one came with a new seal. That one looks good, so we'll see in a second. But let's get this installed. I'm doing this with one hand, guys. Pretty much similar to an oil filter, it just screws up, and you can give it a hand tighten or use. I got grip on these gloves, so I'll get a firm seat on it. Pretty strong guy. I'll tighten it. I don't want to mess the rubber up, so you don't want to tighten too tight in there and crack the seal of that rubber that goes around top of that filter. So just like a car filter, once it starts, you can hand tighten a car filter. Once it starts, that apply pressure inside the engine over a period of time will draw that filter in. It'll be tight. So with this one, I'll just give it a hand tighten at the bottom. I'm not going to use neither one of the filter wrenches. I'm not trying to damage it. Came off fairly easy, so that hand tighten should fit. It's seated in there well. I put a firm grip on it. So we're going to get the valve body up here. Oh, still dripping fluid. Yeah, I do want to note before we put the valve body up, please guys, make sure those valve body, those solenoid, the solenoid pack screws are tightened, because I found myself going over it 2 or 3 times, tighten it down, and you may think every bolt is torqued, when you hit it that once, and you come back, as you don't realize it's pulling the when you tighten one of them down, it's pulling the sensor, the solenoid to the plate. So once you tighten the others down, that one comes back loose. So you have to go over that thing 3 or 4 times to make sure they're tightened. You don't want to have a loose bolt running around in this transmission. So please go around that valve body where their solenoid pack mounts up at. Those bolts you install, those 15 bolts, go around it. I went around it 5 times, and even on the 4th time, and I had a pattern, I had a sequence going. Even during the 4th time, I found a couple loose bolts, and I was shocked. So that's very important. You don't want that bolt to vibrate out eventually and fall in the pan, or be running around inside of these ports, or inside of the transmission, period. So please do that for me. Okay, we can wipe. Once we install the valve body, we're gonna wipe this down. It's clean, just a wipe down, so the gasket can seat well. And I'll show you what I did with the gasket. Since I did weight, the gasket that came here with any part I've ever bought, the gasket's always folded up in the pack. So I set the gasket between a thick piece of cardboard, and I set a weight on it and let it sit overnight. Well, I let it sit for a week, but you can let it sit overnight and it flattens out pretty well. So you don't have to worry about wrestling with that gasket, even with the gasket glue to help it hold in place. So let's get this valve body up. Oh, I forgot, before I put the valve body up, I want to see. Okay, let's see how easy it comes out. I don't know, guys. That's pretty firm right now. And this thing is held up by a bolt, so I'm not gonna mess with that. I just added some force to it, and it didn't come down. I know I could have taken a hammer. I should have did it when I had the filter off. But it looks really good, besides the little scratch I made right there. And if it wasn't held up with a screw, I would take a hammer and kind of beat around the screwdriver, beat around the edges and pull it out. But I'll just use the old, I'll use this one and remove the old and just keep it. It's not going to damage anything. It looks really good in there. But look, guys, look, here goes the new one. Looks the same. Alright, guys, this valve body has some weight, so you want to be really careful with it. I'm using the hole for the plug to guide me up. All screws are lined up. Reach for a couple of these bolts. Hope you guys can see I have my phone set down. Okay, let's get some screws, diagonal. To hold me up in place. I'll screw them all the way down, tight with my hand. Okay, get that pressure off my arm. Let's get this out of our way. So, we get that up. Let's get all of them started. Okay guys, time for us to torque them down. Remember, these are 105 inch-pound of torque, or 105 pound-inch of torque. Either one is the appropriate way to say it, but yeah, it's 105 inch-pound. Remember that, not foot-pound. So if you don't have the inch-pound torque wrench, you can do the math on that. That's that 105 divided by 12. 105 divided by 12 gives you 875, which is almost 9 pounds, 9 foot-pound. So you can set it on the digital meter at the 8.75 foot-pounds. What I recommend is going around each one of them and tighten them down before you torque them. Tighten all of them down, go in a circle if you like, any kind of sequence you like, but tighten them down before you torque them. So I'll tighten them down first. Hope you guys can see that. Gotta click. Okay guys, I pushed the filter up in there and fitting that perfect. Just hands tighten this right now, and I'll tighten it down, wipe around the pan with the towel, and get the pan seated up here. And then I'll show you guys what kind of fluid I'm putting in here. All right, let's push that plug back in. You don't want any issues with that, especially when I'm doing this magnitude of work. I'm working off of my phone. Okay guys, I'm pushing the plug down on there. It's going down. It's going down. Get some. Got it down on there. Remember, you gotta push that red pin. Goodness. Push that back up. Lock it in place. All right. Good. We're on there. Okay, guys. Well, my gasket was flat. Man, it is windy out here. We're gonna use some of this silicone. Okay. Make sure we cover the holes good. Covering the holes, as you guys can see, and I'm on the outer rim. It tends to leak it. I'll set this gasket on here in place. Really good job holding these gaskets in place, especially when they've been all out of shape. This is gonna save me. Okay, we're gonna change gloves, but this is gonna save me the headache of worrying about is that gasket up on there straight. So, get prepared to put the gasket up. Okay, guys, we gotta tighten this up. Just want to show you real quick. Got some small vice grips. You know, got it locked on my Torx bit, just to tighten it down. This requires, okay guys, it's 45 pounds, 45 inch-pounds, sorry, 45 inch-pounds of torque for this bolt. But I'm gonna do it by experience and feel. Sorry, but I don't recommend this. Get the torque wrench that can fit up in there. Put the bit on it. It's a tight spot with my pipe in the way, and I don't have one at this house, so I'll do what I got. You just don't want to over tight it because it'll break off. It'll break that It'll break. Not the bolt. The bolt won't break. You'll crack the housing in this. You'll crack the housing of this valve body because it's a little stump that it mounts on right there. So you don't want to crack that housing because the filter won't be allowed. It won't stay up. Okay, guys, make sure it's clean all around here so you can get the pan up. Both sides clean. You can remove the disc stick as well. Get it out your way so you don't bend it. I should have been said that. I'm sorry. So let's get that pulled out and get the pan installed. Get some bolts started. Guys, a quick tip with these bolts, the transmission pan bolts, some may appear to seem longer than the others. And that's because there is a gasket, RTV gasket maker at the tip of them. So as you can see, this one looks much longer than that one. And it's because that tip is nothing but gasket glue. So get your wire brush and clean them off before you install them. Okay guys, I got the pan up. Use the 1/4-inch drive and snug all the bolts around the transmission pan housing. I snugged all the bolts in before I torque them down. So I just went around it, all the way around it, make sure they were hand tightened down. And now I'm about to torque them to specs. And the torque specs for this application is the transmission pan bolts are 14.5 foot-pound. I'll show you in 1 second from off my software. 14.5 foot-pounds or 20 Nm. Okay guys, I got most of them torqued down. I just want to show you guys what I was using. I set it to the Newton meter, to 20. I set it to 20 on the Newton meter side and use the foot-pound because it is 14.5. It is freezing out here today, guys. I'm not even lying to you. It is extremely cold today. Okay, right here. Good. 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 Just going around one last time. Good. 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 All right. Good. 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 Hey guys, this is what I'll be doing today. My oil filter is actually in my wife's car, and she's gone for right now, but she's about to pull up. But I'll be changing my oil on my truck. This is what I use every single time. Both of these products, I use the Lucas and everything. I don't care if my truck had 5,000 miles or 3,000 miles. This is what I use out the gate. 520 raw purple oil and the synthetic Lucas. And I'm using for the transmission fluid the Max ATF. This stuff is expensive, but it's incredible, especially doing that big of a job. You definitely want to use the best. You don't want to put no cheap stuff in there. You want to spend the extra money, and this stuff is designed to, if I'm not mistaken, double the life of your transmission. because the fluid itself reduces the heat, which is the culprit of a worn transmission. They get extremely hot. It's the number one culprit of transmission failures. But I also add an additive in here as well, the automatic transmission fluid conditioner. This stuff is great. This also helps extend the life of your transmission. So these are my recommendations. You can put as you choose in your car, but I've been doing this for so long, and I know it. Like some ones I stay away from. I don't want to call names out, but I've had bad results of them. I mean, with them throughout the years. But this is what I'll be using in a transmission job, and then after that, I'll pop my filter out and change my oil real quick. Since I'm up on the vehicle, but just checking for any leaks. But yeah, the Max ATF, man, it says it takes 6.5 quarts. This is approximately what I got right now, and we'll see how that goes. But I'll put the conditioner in first, then I'll put a quart or two before I start it up. So I want to hear those gears whine in that transmission. So I just put the conditioner, a couple quarts in. I'll wait until I start it, then I'll put the rest, and I'll apply as I go just to see where it feels up. But you definitely don't want to overfill that transmission. That's important too. So make sure you don't overfill that transmission. So I'm froze, guys. Once again, my hands are frostbitten. It's 13 degrees out here tonight, and if you like this video, if it helped you guys out, please subscribe to the channel. I am froze. I'm froze. Please, please, please. I got a whole lot more coming on. I'm about to do one more big job with this truck. It involves the engine. So please subscribe to the channel. A whole lot more videos coming. Like I said, I'm in the process right now. I've traveled so many different places, and it has something to do with my video about health, our health. Without our health, none of this matters. So health is wealth. It's the number one. It's the most important thing in your life, in my life, in everyone's life. So I just did a huge documentary. I'm finishing it up right now. I've traveled to so many different places filming it, and I want to share it with you guys. So subscribe to the channel, man, and be safe. And stay tuned.